If I asked those of you who clicked on this video, who is this? You'd probably give the same answer as me. Oh, that's Sam Puckett from Icarly. Her wacky antics helped the show reach new heights. But who's Jennette McCurdy outside of acting? How did Hollywood and Nickelodeon destroy her mental health? Or how did becoming famous impact her self-image? All these questions are answered in her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. Her memoir is really heavy, so before we begin, I'd like to give a spoiler and content warning. Viewer discretion is advised. When watching iCarly, we might assume Sam is a happy-go-lucky girl without a care in the world. Nothing could be further from the truth.
My mom also had cancer when I was 2 years old. That was the first time she was diagnosed. So not only was it chaotic because of the abuse that was happening and my mom's violent and erratic, unstable behavior, but also because we all lived in fear of her cancer coming back.
Jennette might have put on a convincing smile, but underneath it all, she was suffering. I'm Glad My Mom Died sheds a much-needed light on the Hollywood industrial complex.
Stop laughing at the director. Show some respect, Jennette. Respect. No smiling. All right. Take $100 off her check. I think everybody's getting tired of your attitude.
Jennette was exploited and then offered money to keep quiet about her abuse. But acting isn't her only source of pain. After pretending to be happy for the camera, she had to take care of her hyper-controlling mother. Plus, she had the added pressure of carrying her family financially. The acting gigs were their big shot to improve their circumstances. All these pressures manifested in eating disorders, poor self-worth, and alcoholism. Jennette McCurdy bravely shares her truth so that we can empathize with the unique pressures many in Hollywood face. So today I want to break down the intense psychological damage that comes from working in the entertainment industry. Also, how toxic family dynamics can augment our understanding of our self-worth. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe so you always see my latest content. Jennette is a skilled actress, but not because of natural talent, but from years of pretending to be happy for others' sakes. Being a people pleaser can come at a heavy cost, especially with toxic family resources. The McCurdy household was always filled with tension. Most of the conflict comes from Jennette's mom, Deborah. Wanting to become an actress, she lives vicariously through her daughter's opportunities. Any dissenting opinions were met with fierce backlash. Harsh words, crying fits, and screaming outbursts are manipulative tactics her mom utilized. Living with someone like this is psychologically debilitating. While everyone suffered, Jennette was the primary target of this harassment. Jennette was forced to starve herself to stay young-looking. At the age of 10, she was whitening her teeth, dyeing her hair, and putting on makeup. Deborah would touch her inappropriately and bathe her until she was 16. These traumatic experiences were made worse by the fake smile she had to wear the whole time. When you're afraid of someone, really afraid of someone, your goal becomes to make that person happy. Don't cry in front of them, or they'll get upset. Never given a real moment to express emotions, acting became that outlet. Everyone was blown away by Jennette's ability to cry, but these weren't tears from a crocodile. She was releasing her stored anguish. Acting is a psychologically taxing endeavor in ways we might not realize. When someone goes on a crying tear, they are experiencing pretty intense pain to some extent. Most people can't cry out of thin air. Actors and actresses relive sad moments or hypothetical scenarios to help in this process. Jennette excelled in performance, which only added to her suffering. Imagine having a horrible home life and then using that pain for others' enjoyment. One of the most harmful elements of Hollywood is the zealous drive for perfection. Every element must be curated. These expectations are even higher for women who face unique pressures in the space, from objectification to heightened dispensability. Already, the framing is pretty poor. If Hollywood's supposed to be a fictional representation of reality, shouldn't we accommodate to all body types and lifestyles? Not to mention, harsh standards are infinitely more damaging to children. To understand how the harm manifests, we need to understand consent. On a baseline level, consent means agreeing to something in good faith, but there are varying degrees. Taking an acting job as a kid might seem moral. They understand they're giving up their time for opportunity and financial compensation. While this is all true, kids don't understand the full ramifications of these decisions. A child can't even begin to comprehend the ways their actions on and off screen will impact their future. They are giving a form of limited consent based on their lack of knowledge. Children aren't fully developed cognitively, which is why parents have the added responsibility of overseeing these lifestyle choices. Although problems can arise when there is a conflict of interest. Jennette was forced into a career path she didn't choose, put on a starvation diet,
what I ate for lunch,
and hyper-scrutinized around every turn. Our environments can drastically alter our psychology. especially at a formative age. Deborah and the other parents hurt her self-perception in a lasting way. Many who suffer from body shaming develop eating disorders as a result. Jennette starved herself until her mother left her presence. Then she would binge because she was hungry after eating essentially nothing all day. I'm Glad My Mom Died is a groundbreaking piece because this book is a form of therapy, both for Jennette and the audience. As someone who's been shamed over their weight, her story helped me gain perspective. Not to mention, hearing the insights she gained from counseling could aid those who might not have access to therapy.
This video, I really wanted to focus on the eating disorder recovery process and what that was like for me, in the hopes that if you're out there watching this and you're very early on in your recovery or you haven't entered recovery yet, that you might find this information helpful.
Jennette was exploited for viewing pleasure 10 hours a day. Then she'd come home to a mom who'd rip apart her appearance. Hearing her accounts of it all is soul-crushing. Unfortunately, after her big break, things took a turn for the worse. Nickelodeon sounds like a horrible place for kids. They abused Jennette and then had the audacity to offer her money to silence her voice.
Nickelodeon attempted to arrange a $300,000 thank you parting gift for her, only if she agreed to never publicly speak about her experiences at the network.
Dan Schneider used gaslighting, alcohol, and anger to manipulate Jennette. One moment, he would overly compliment her, and the next, unleash his fury.
You know, he'd say things like, you guys will work you would work at Yogurtland if you didn't work for me, and he would just scream.
Love bombing mixed with emotional outbursts can gaslight someone. Jennette began questioning what was real. Is Dan a friend or foe? After messing up her mind, he'd make her get dinner with him, encouraging her to drink. Dan Schneider, by all accounts, seemed like a horrible person to work for. His abuse have harmed countless lives. After releasing her book, other Nickelodeon stars came out with similar testimonies. The creator of Nick has incredible power, which comes with increased responsibility. Working with anyone, especially children, requires constant check-ins to make sure everyone feels comfortable. Raging at people on and off set creates a frightening workplace. Even though the novel is on Jennette's truth, this story involves so many. All these young kids pretend to be jovial on screen, when in the background, they're being yelled at and verbally berated. But their legacy is forever immortalized. No one knows Jennette McCurdy. They only know Sam Puckett. She lost everything. Even her promised spin-off show got rebranded. So far, it seems like no one's in her corner. But then a hero stepped up. Miranda Cosgrove's friendship with Jennette is one of the most inspiring things in the novel. With nothing to gain, living completely different lifestyles, Miranda reaches out. A genuine source of kindness can go the distance when you're hurting. She seemed like a true escape from the ever-mounting pressures of fame. Going to movies or sleepovers, little things we take for granted, meant the world to Jennette. This story truly serves as a testament to how empathy and kindness can uplift those in need. Listening to I'm Glad My Mom Died was honestly grueling. Her emotional intonations in her voice sell the reality of her tragic circumstances. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Jennette's excruciating journey shows us all the power of the human spirit. Despite a plethora of toxic resources, she manages to find self-worth and body positivity. When the ones you care about constantly tear you down, it can change your self-perception. Through extensive therapy and a group of positive social resources, Jennette found love for herself in a truly inspiring fashion. I'm Glad My Mom Died sheds a light on the unique pressures women face in Hollywood. Jennette's candidness with these heavy topics is brave in an indescribable way. Talking about mental health in private is already tough. I can't begin to imagine the courage it took to open up about these horrible interactions. Sharing her trauma in the entire recovery process can uplift those who feel alone. I'm Glad My Mom Died teaches us so many crucial lessons. We can still be happy even after experiencing unimaginable pain and sadness. But most importantly, the value of love and understanding. Thanks for checking out this video. I really appreciate it. I'm Glad My Mom Died is a powerful read I can't recommend enough. We need more stories that highlight the difficulties people face in entertainment. Hollywood sells a glamorized version of reality while covering up the harms they perpetuate. Children are subjected to unreasonable body standards when they really need positive encouragement. This book speaks truth to power in a truly lasting way. Seeing that a celebrity can have similar experiences to us reminds us that Sam is a human too, and her name is Jennette McCurdy. How did I'm Glad My Mom Died impact you? What messages did you take away from this book? I'd love to hear from you.